Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Marg Sipping Sistas. Tonight we're just gonna talk about what comes to our mind, maybe a little more about our Arizona trip, what we're doing this weekend, and who knows what else you're gonna get tonight. Any thoughts, Lisa?
Yeah. My thought was that we talked before we started that I was going to talk first.
Well, you didn't know we were starting, so I did it.
I know, I was staring at you like I was lost.
Yes.
I was still really on the small brain and water in your ear. That's where I was at.
Okay, so I went to the doctor because I couldn't hear out of my ear. And he said there was nothing wrong with my ear, but I had bronchitis. But I could feel the fluid when I tipped my head back and forth. And then somebody, our producer, said I have a small brain that moves back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, it might not be a in your ear.
Right?
Yeah.
I believe I said pea-sized brain.
Pea-sized brain.
Pea-size. What did I say?
Small.
Small. Well, same thing.
No, pea-size is smaller than small, Tracy.
Oh.
Yeah, get straight. Okay. Yeah, so we are both, I mean, it's been a week since we've been back from Arizona, but we're still kind of laggy a little bit because during vacation when we were there, we did do our last episode. So if you have not listened to that, make sure you listen to that. We talked about being in Arizona. We kind of thought afterwards when we got done, we're like, oh my God, we could just keep going on and on and on and keep talking about things in Arizona. On the do's and the don'ts and all this that we have fun with and don't have fun with and everything else. So do we want to talk a little bit more about that?
We can, yeah.
Yeah. So what else? So kind of funny story. My client the other night, the other day, she was telling me that her and her good friend are just going to go traveling. They're both retired.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to go to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, fun.
So she was getting some ideas and stuff for me about the route to go. So I told her how to, we normally go, I-35 to I-40, through New Mexico. I told her that they had bad roads unless you were in Albuquerque, because that was on our last episode too, that we kept hearing that.
Yes.
So they're going to go to the Grand Canyon, and they're going to stay there 3 days.
Oh, that'll be fun.
And then after that, she wants to go down to Sedona.
Oh, I love Sedona.
And I said, oh my gosh, you have to call me if you need any help while you're there, because I could tell you all the ins and outs and yada yada. And she said, okay, yeah, I will. I'll call or text you if I need to know anything. And I was like, okay. And they're going in a month or so. Yeah. So then she says, I said, well, what else do you have on your list? And she goes, oh, well, one of the things that we have on our list is the petrified forest.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I said, oh my gosh.
No.
Do not. No. And she's like, why? And I'm like, it is so bad.
It's a bunch of dead wood.
It's awful. It's a waste of your drive to drive through that. So if any of you that are listening have driven through the petrified forest in Arizona and you think that it was fantastic, we need to hear from you.
Yeah, we want to know why.
We want to know why. The boys still will not let Tracy live this down that we went through the petrified forest.
Some of the views were pretty.
Yeah, but was it really worth it overall?
Not for the price we had to pay, no.
So I think I've got her talked into X-naying that off their list of don't do. So yeah. I said, well, if you really want, I said I could send down to my in-laws. They're only 20 minutes, from Sedona, so you could go visit them too if you want.
They probably need checked up on once in a while.
They probably do. Make sure the pool cover's still on, because it has rocks holding it down on part of it, because mother-in-law won't let us cut it so that it's rectangle. And the rock's probably in the bottom of the pool now.
Yeah. And how she goes in with clothes on to get them out.
I thought Caden was going to die laughing when he saw that.
She is something else, let me tell you.
If she would have just cut it like she always has, she's always has cut the pool cover. And why this year she decided to not cut the pool cover is beyond me.
Well, okay, so I've been thinking about this. I think it's because they have a clear one coming, and she's not going to ever use that blue one again. They just wasted, what, $150?
No, $108. I got that baby on sale.
And they'll probably never use that blue cover again because all she wants is clear.
True. So, she was very adamant about this clear pool cover. But they've always had blue. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know why you want clear. I mean, you want to see the water? Maybe?
Well, it's bubbly on top, so could you even see the water? Probably not.
Oh, yeah, probably not. I don't know. But what...
so they've got some they've got some really good neighbors. So one of their neighbors that lives right across the street, she came over, I think it was the night before we did the podcast. She came over and brought us those little, like...
How do you say that? Petitfours? Petitfours.
Petitfour, little chocolate candy cake.
They were pretty good, the one I had.
They weren't bad, so we still have some upstairs, so feel free to take some home with you.
I'm on a diet.
And she I think she does a pretty good job of, like, watching over them.
She's like that nosy neighbor that has to know what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
So,
but, she's almost 10 years younger than them too, so it's probably not good to have. It's probably good to have somebody a little closer. I did do a post after we got back, or on the way back or whatever, from Arizona, that it was really odd pulling out of their driveway when we left that morning, because they always stand every year for 16 years. They've stood in the driveway and waved goodbye to us until we drove off. And this year it was really odd having Evan stand there in the driveway with them, because he didn't come home with us because he was flying home on Monday and we left Saturday to make the drive home.
I may have had a little bit of tear in my eye.
Yeah, it was just really kind of different.
I was like, why isn't he with us?
Yeah. I was thinking though today too, because I listened to the last Arizona podcast, that we should have our producer post the picture of the bull when you were talking about the bull story with the going out into the backyard.
Did we talk about that?
Tracy, if you listen to our podcast, you would know what we talk about.
I haven't had time yet.
You haven't had time to listen to all 6 of them. That's not true. I made you listen to 2 of them.
Okay, I hate my voice. I do not. If I could mute when I talked, I'd be okay.
Well, this isn't the Loud Lisa podcast, because you know I'm loud.
I try to be loud, but it doesn't work.
Well, I try to be quiet, but Lord only knows that does not work.
Well, did you notice he moved the microphone closer to you?
He did. I must have toned myself down a smidge.
So maybe we're good.
Maybe I'm not quite as loud as normal, but our producer does say that I'm loud. And joke is that I need a t-shirt that says I'm loud.
I think it's a good idea.
It might come yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, so on my way home from work today, I went to the store. So I was in our, I had to take our truck to work today. This little truck that we bought from
Chevy S10.
Yeah, that we bought from our good friends.
And it's what, a 1980 something?
96.
96. So I take it to work today because we had to move some stuff at work from our trailer back to since our construction at the office is done. And then I went to the grocery store. Well, I'm so used to my SUV that has a backup camera, front camera.
Oh no!
I I apparently rely on these cameras way too much. So I pull in the parking lot at the store, and get out, go in, get my few things. I come back out, and I'm like, dear land, I pulled up way too far in this part of the space in front of me. I didn't have my dang camera that apparently I'm used to. The car, next to me and on the other side is looking at me like, yeah, lady, you pulled up too far kind of look.
But look, the truck doesn't look the nicest, so maybe you don't know how to drive very nice.
That's probably it. But then in my defense of driving nice, my boss Beth told me on our second trip back from unloading from our storage trailer back to the office, she's like, you drive that truck so well. She's like, I would not be able to do that.
It's not as big as your vehicle.
No, it's way smaller.
So you're used to driving.
She just doesn't like to drive. That's part of it. Is she doesn't like to drive. Because I backed it in and I was like, I was proud of myself for this moment. I was like 2 inches from the sidewalk when I backed up for my tire. Like, that's how good I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is impressive.
So then I get in the car, like, as this guy, I feel like this guy's still staring at me. Like,
Probably.
Because I parked like an idiot.
And you're a woman.
And I was a woman driving a small truck, parking like an idiot.
Mm.
And I'm driving home, and I have to go by one of, the route that I come home is I go by one of the schools here in town. And the kids were outside. The middle school.
Oh, I'm like, what school? I forgot. Apparently
they just must have, I don't know if they were on PE because I don't think they really get recess, but there was all these kids out there on the side, and there was like a couple kids standing off on their, over here, and like it.
Maybe it was a fire drill.
No, because one kid had a basketball, but there was no, they were not close to a basketball hoop, and the kid laying on the ground, I hope the kid on the ground was catching the basketball that was being thrown at his face, chest.
Oh, I hope so.
But I'm not really sure, like, what they were... It looked like they were just dinking around.
Kids are bullies these days.
But then I turn, and I start heading towards, like, the main road to the stop sign, and it's one lane until you can get over into the turn lane. And there's this van going oh so slow. I'm really not even sure that she was pushing on the gas. She was going so slow. So then I got to the turn lane and I went around her. And she puts her hands up at me, looks at me like I was an inconvenience to her because she was going 2 miles an hour.
Was she an average age lady?
Middle-aged. She had a handicap sticker in her, tag in her window. She just was out for a
cruise.
Friday drive, I guess, apparently.
It was a beautiful day.
It was. And I was hot because I didn't know if the air worked in the truck or not. I was ready to get out. And so I was hot. And so I had my window cracked, but then hair was blowing in my face because of the stinking wind. Lord. It was just an all-over disaster.
So don't you remember this stuff when we were growing up, how we had to do all that? We didn't have backup cameras. We didn't have front cameras. You used to do it.
Well, and I told Beth, that's funny because I said that to Beth, and I was like, well, growing up, I was like, I could back up our fifth wheel camper.
Oh, yeah.
Like no other. And she's like, you've got to be kidding me. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I even at one point drove the semi-cab, like not very far. But I drove it like a little bit. And she was like, I never knew that about you. And I'm like, hey, now you know something about me.
We were taught weird things as girls, I feel. Like, our dad, he taught us how to did he teach you how to change your oil?
Yeah? Yeah. I mean, but I don't think that's weird. That's life lesson.
I know, but normally you don't teach girls how to do that.
Well.
He taught us how to change a tire, which is a life lesson.
Yeah. Oil could be a life lesson. It's part of your car.
It's dirty. I'll pay somebody to do it.
You know, so life lesson. I had a client come in the other day.
Okay.
And he says to me, you know what? Me and my siblings were really never taught life lessons.
What?
I said, well, like what did you want to know? And he was like, well, he goes, I don't even know what to do for my taxes.
What?
And he's mid-20s. He's about Evan's age.
I mean.
And he said, I don't even know what to do with my taxes. And he goes, I don't even know how to write a check.
Well, checks aren't a thing these days.
Well, checks aren't. I don't even know if Kaden could really know what to do with that. But
I mean, they don't even know how to use a rotary phone.
No, if they even know what that is.
Right.
But he was talking to me about things that, like, him and his siblings never got taught because they were too busy getting, and I wouldn't really say yelled at the house, but like, they had to be they were in charge of, cooking the dinners and cleaning. And
well, those are life lessons.
Those are life lessons. And I reminded him of that, but that's not really the exact life lessons he was thinking of.
Yeah.
Of,
there's so many.
Like, I think he was thinking more of like adult life lessons that
you have to learn that as you go.
You need to learn.
You can't be taught how to be an adult.
All right, when that means some people do need to be taught how to be an adult.
I wish there was a user manual sometimes on how to be an adult.
You know, if everybody came with a user manual, could you imagine? Would the user manual all be the same?
No, it'd be different for each person.
Well, what if they're twins?
Then they get the same ones.
But what if they're different?
Well, most twins aren't.
Really?
Well, maybe.
I know some twins that are different.
Yeah. So maybe if they're different, they could probably get their own.
But how do you know?
I think everybody just gets their own no matter what. That's what I think.
It's just assigned to you.
Yeah.
This is the Tracy user manual.
And this is what happens as you're adult. You can do these things and that things and...
If only that was...
Right? Maybe I should start working on that.
Yeah.
I'll never get it done.
You could create that. You know, we have wanted to like create a lot of things that we've never did.
Yeah.
I don't think we brought this up when we were talking about our Arizona podcast last week when we did that, but so we said we went on a hike. And
that's what you called it.
We got you to like the one part, and then the guys went up, climbed further up to the mountain, and I said, "Oh, I'll stay back with you because we climbed this a few years ago, so I don't really need to do it again." So you and I hung out in the big rocky area, and people kept coming and going, and some would go up, and some were just coming to look at the 7 pool area, and then they went back down. But remember that one family that came up? It was a husband and wife with 2 little kids, like baby. Oh. The baby was in the carrier on the front of her.
Oh, yes, I do.
And I made the comment, I'm like, oh, what if she, knock on wood, pray to God she didn't, but what if she were to fall? Like, right? That baby's on her chest. Like, I don't know if I'd rather have it on my chest or my back. But where I was going with this is the toddler, the little girl toddler. Remember her saying, I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay, so back when the boys were little, I'm not sure we ever thought about this or would have do this. We would have probably just said, go, like, but now they say, don't urinate in.
Yeah, because it could change I read this, it could change the form of the trails and affect the animals and stuff like that.
Yeah. So this little girl says, I have to go potty or I have to go bathroom, whatever she says. So this dad takes off this big, huge hiking backpack thing that held this toddler in it, we figured out. And she could walk. She was, I bet, maybe 3 or 4, maybe. Whips out a toilet seat with legs and a bag and takes her off into the little private area and has her go to the bathroom.
So what did he do with that bag? Did you ever see him come out with it?
No, because I think from the story that I gathered from watching them when we were people watching here, the mom says, well, she can just try in a little bit. So I don't know if she went.
Oh.
I think she might have had
Was there a garbage right in there too?
No, I never saw any trash.
Didn't either.
Because then the big, huge rock formation thing that we were sitting on, and the people in the white Jeep that drove down there behind us that had 2 little girls. We couldn't figure out why the one girl was in the front seat of the Jeep for so long. Well, we did learn that she had to go to the bathroom. She had to go number 2, so she was sitting there for a while. But again, she was sitting on a toilet seat with a bag in the passenger seat of this Jeep.
When did that become a thing?
It was not 20 years ago when my kids were little.
No, I have never seen anything.
No. Like, we had 2 within probably a half an hour of each other that both of these kids had to go. And like, well prepared. I would have not been prepared by any means for this.
Yeah, it's just crazy how things have come so far since even you, Caden will be 20 this year.
Right.
So 20 years ago,
I had no portable potty seat.
Oh, hell no. Heck
with
no.
legs. No way.
You just let them.
It was kind of fun though to sit there. I felt like we sat there for hours.
I do too.
While the guys were on the rest of the hike up to the cave.
But it went fast.
I don't know if it was really hours, but it was probably 2 hours at least.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
so. We saw a lot of people.
We did see a lot of people. Like that one girl that was going to come and try to jump in it.
Oh, so these 7
must
pools.
Be like a group of something.
They are, they're spiritual pools, I think they were called. And I was reading up on them because it's just these little itty bitty small holes that have water in them.
Yeah.
And it says on the thing not to get in them, not to touch it, not to put anything in it. So all these kids that were coming up, the one kid was going to jump in there. One person put their hand in it. Somebody else put a stick in. I'm just sitting there like, oh my God.
They're trying to see how deep it was.
Yeah.
Which
the parents should have read and told them, no, you can't do this.
Right. But parents these days, are they going to do that?
No. Parents these days are way different than they were 20 years ago.
Yeah. No. Yeah. They're way different. Yeah. Overall, though, like, we had a good trip, and it was just interesting. Like, you know, it's kind of like going to your state fair. Like I kind of like to go to our state fair and just sit there and people watch.
Yeah, there's a couple times that I've gone on East Side Night. It's like the
first Friday night of the fair.
Yeah. And oh my goodness, it is so funny. I took my nephews. One of my nephew and I went to a concert on East Side Night, and we saw 5 people get hauled off by cops. It was so fun to watch. I love the fair.
I mean, give me a fresh squeezed lemonade and a funnel cake and put me on the bench. I just watch them like crazy. I don't need a corn dog. Yeah.
What do you think about like fried butter or fried Oreos?
No. What did we have last year?
We really didn't eat much.
We stood in line for something. Fried pickles. Oh my God. That was so Those
good.
were good.
That was one of my favorites.
You know, that kind of does bring me into the thought of weird foods.
Oh, buddy.
Do you have any weird foods?
Well, I don't know if this is weird, but I like to eat cottage cheese with pork and beans.
Okay.
Or peaches. But peaches is normal.
I could agree with you on that, only because we're related, so
yeah.
We had that growing up.
Or like, what about...
So I eat my cottage cheese. I do eat my cottage cheese plain, but I do like it mixed with applesauce.
How did you even start that?
I'm not sure.
That's just weird.
It might have been when I was pregnant with one of the boys or something.
Maybe
because
I don't like applesauce.
True.
So that's no problem.
Also, I ate when I was pregnant with the boys.
Oh my.
Cool Whip with chocolate chips in it.
Yeah.
Imagine my sugar levels.
I don't think you did with both boys.
No, I think
it was your first one. Yeah. What about cinnamon swirl bread with cheese whiz and a green olive?
So we brought that up a couple episodes ago.
That's my favorite.
I'm still telling you guys, if you've never tried this, you gotta try it. That is really good. There's some weird. I feel like there's a lot of weird combos out there that people eat. Like, we want to know. So comment if
what you
eat that you find that's weird. Like, I don't think it's weird, but like Brian eats ranch with everything.
Oh, but
everything.
No different than you eating sour cream pretty much with everything.
No, I only eat sour cream with chicken and tacos. Like, Brian will put Brian would put ranch on a breakfast burrito.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I mean, I like ranch, but maybe not that well to put it on everything. But I do like my sour cream with chicken.
Oh, chicken strips and sour cream are one of my
I'd rather
favorites.
have that over ketchup. I'm not a ketchup fan.
I used to eat ketchup on everything, kind of like Brian with the ranch.
Yeah.
And I don't eat ketchup anymore. I haven't, like my French fries, I dip usually, because I usually have them with chicken, so I dip it in sour cream.
Mm-hmm.
Or like if you're at a restaurant, they come with like a honey mustard, whatever you order, so I dip them in that.
True. See, I like honey mustard.
So I don't use ketchup anymore like I used to.
What were we talking about earlier about some other weird foods that either we've done or we know that people do? Do you remember some of them?
What did I say? One of them was, peanut butter with...
Oh, a tomato.
Yeah, peanut butter and tomato, I think, was one.
Peanut butter on a tomato.
And then we were talking about, because we like to eat potato salad sandwiches.
Oh, that's what started this.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 pieces of bread or 1 piece of bread folded in half, and you put potato salad in it. Oh. And we used to have it with Grandma's homemade potato salad.
Oh, so
that
good.
was the best. Like, that people probably would cringe over too. You know, the boys, when we would do BLTs, like, I can't even really say growing up because they still, to this day, would prefer for their BLTs. They like turkey bacon over regular bacon. I just was talking to somebody about this the other day. That they prefer turkey bacon over regular bacon.
Which is weird.
And Caden, for his BLT, he would only have the B. He doesn't like lettuce. He doesn't like tomato. So he would have the B in between 2 pieces of bread.
Did he put mayonnaise on it?
No, he doesn't like mayonnaise.
Oh, that's right.
So it was dry bread with turkey bacon.
But you know where he got the no tomato, like in tomato things, is from Chris.
Yeah.
Because Chris would always order everything with no tomato.
So then, Caden decided when he was little, no tomato. I don't know what a tomato tastes like to this day.
Probably not.
But peanut butter is kind of becoming more popular. Like the guys, sometimes if we go out, there's sometimes certain restaurants have options for like a peanut butter burger.
That sounds odd.
Probably because you don't like burger.
True. I guess it's no different than putting an egg on a burger. That's kind of weird too.
Yeah.
But
people do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We got to know what your guys' weird food combos are that you like. And gosh, should we tell them what we're doing this weekend? We got.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I could probably say I roped you into doing it.
Yeah. You did.
So we're going up to our mom's tomorrow, this weekend, and for their Catholic church school, they're having a fundraiser gala event.
That's gonna be fun.
So earlier in the week, the very beginning of the week, when I was talking to Mom, she had said that Rich's sister can't go. Her husband can't go now because one of the good friends that the sister took care of had passed away. So they had 2 extra tickets. So I said, if you can't find anybody to go, maybe Brian and we could come up and go. But, see if you can find somebody to go first. Okay, yeah. So then she talked to Rich. Rich says, oh no, give the kids first shot, whatever. So then, long story short, Brian decides that maybe Tracy should go.
Oh, Brian.
Instead of him. Probably because he would have to wear dress clothes and can't go naked. Because, apparently that's the theme of the podcast. Brian's always naked. He kind of behaved himself in Arizona, but yeah. So, we have to dress up. Like, it's not like themed. Well, it's themed, but we don't have to dress up themed. We just have to dress up nice.
Yeah.
So, I texted you and Mom like 5 different dresses because I'm torn on what I want to wear. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't have a problem finding something. I've got clothes. So I send you guys the other night these 5 outfits, and you respond back and said, have you ever worn any of these?
I've maybe seen one of them.
Mom says, oh, they're all gorgeous, and she's just being nice.
The red one.
The red one. So this red dress that I contemplated about wearing, and it's still in the running. It's going to make the trek tomorrow with us. It's long sleeve, but it's probably knee length, and it's red, and it's lace.
It reminds me, do you remember the doilies that older people always put down underneath things? The lace looks like a doily. Something I would put on my coffee table.
I might differ with that.
Maybe I need to see it in person, not in a picture.
I have it upstairs. I can show you.
Yeah.
So I have ruled out a few. So I think tomorrow I'm only going to bring 3. I might just bring 2 and wear one. I'm going to bring the lace one. I'm going to bring my all black one that I didn't send you the picture of, but it just looks too boring. The all black
dress
one.
It up with the necklace or...
No, because those make me itchy and then my neck turns red. I could wear a scarf because it's gonna be cold.
Or a sweater, or
no, yeah, I don't have any nice dressy sweaters I can wear with it. Then the third one I'm gonna bring is that it's like the burgundy on top with the flowered. Like,
that's the one Chris and I like
all together. Yeah.
I wish I had that problem. I have one.
So those are my 3 choices that I'm gonna bring. I thought you had 2. Did you try one?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna do that when I get home tonight. Well, I was gonna do that last night.
Last night too.
But we just ended up having a party at 9:30 at night at my house.
Hey,
so
dang!
I didn't have time.
Well, yeah, that's
not really
a
party.
Our fault too, because Blake and Kylie were in town because they just moved closer, and so they were in town, and we hadn't seen them since Christmas. So they came over, and the next thing I know, it's 10:15, and I was like, we need to go home. We all have to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
So okay. I'm still laughing because, so the whole chicken. So Mom tells me the story that she got the food options switched from beef that Betty and John had picked to chicken for you and I.
Yeah.
And I'm really thinking that these ladies that she told that she needed to change it from beef to chicken for her daughters, I'm pretty sure these ladies think that we're like young kids. But are young kids going to be there?
I don't think it's for kids.
But the way that Mom told the story, it made it sound like she was talking about her young children needing chicken.
Yeah, because we don't eat beef.
Yeah. So we're going to have names on these plates of Tracy and Lisa.
I can't wait to see how this works out.
See what we're going to get. And then we have some random... Well, Mom knows the lady sitting with us, but...
She's very outspoken.
She's very outspoken. So we keep trying to tell our producer that we need to be mic'd up for tomorrow night. Because we could have some good conversations with this lady.
Yeah. Apparently
she's very outspoken and...
she tells you how it is.
Yeah.
And she thinks Mom's a sinner. Why? I can't remember why you said that.
She told Mom at water aerobics one day that Mom's a double sinner because she drinks and she goes to the casino.
Yeah. Okay. So, yes. But what I don't understand is her and Rich aren't married and live together. How is that not one of this? That's the biggest one of all of them.
Maybe she forgot about that.
Or maybe she thinks they're married.
Then I think I did tell Mom, or I might have forgot to tell her the whole part that we said, well, like, this lady's a sinner because she technically lied to you because she wants you to tell her daughter some random story that's not even true. I told you that, right? About the daughter.
I had to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And so this lady's a single sinner.
I can't imagine what she's gonna say when she meets us.
Oh Lord, she's really gonna think highly of us. Yeah.
She's gonna say stuff to Mom next to water room. I can't wait to hear that story.
Oh great. Your daughters. We're
gonna be told
out. We're gonna get told to zip it.
Yeah, Rich is gonna be like, you have to be on your best behavior tonight.
God.
You know how, especially when there's free alcohol and
full bar. What's it gonna be?
It's a full bar.
Oh, I didn't know that. I bet they have some good margaritas.
I know. That's what I asked Mom if they had twisted tea, but she didn't think so. But she's like, you can sneak it in. I'm like, yeah I'm not sneaking it in.
You were bringing any with you.
I'm like, I'll get something at the bar.
Right. So we're up for a good old venture tomorrow night with this.
Yeah.
But I told you that we get Rich's paddle because he didn't want to give us our own account.
I know, so we get a bid on whatever we want.
So by golly, we have his paddle.
We don't even have a limit.
Not as yet.
But they pay.
You never know what we're going to come back with.
Did I say $11,000 for a freaking parking spot?
So Mom told me tonight that the people that they share the spot with, or I don't know, something with the spot, they have to work out their strategy tonight on what they're going to do to get the spot. So
$11,000 for a freaking parking spot you don't own.
Right.
Heck no.
And then Rich tells me tonight too that like one of the members for my day job, my office job, is going to be there.
Oh.
So I have to give him a hard time. And I'm like, Rich, I don't even know who he is. I only talked to him on the phone. I have no idea what he looks like.
Well,
he goes,
meet him.
I'll show you. I was like, oh.
You don't have a picture of him at work?
No. If I had a picture of everybody, it would not be what I was thinking they would be looking like.
Oh, see, I thought you had pictures like on there, like when you come up to whatever, I don't know.
Well, if they have one on their like
Email.
account or email, then yes. But some of the older generation do not.
Yeah, because computers are not there.
It's not your friend either. But
no,
hey,
I dislike internet and computers and.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm old school.
You are old school. God, you're just old.
I'm not.
Not old school. Old.
I'm getting there.
You're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything else, Tracy?
No, I don't think so. But I think next time we'll talk about how the gala went, so you guys can have an update on how that was.
We'll let you know about Anne. This is the lady that is the single sinner.
Yeah. So.
And make sure that you are following us on socials and listening to us on wherever you listen to your podcasts at. Keep sipping. We will listen to you guys next time.